Hey guys, this is Nathan Pennington from RunDreamAchieve.com. Hope you guys are having a great day, great afternoon, great evening, great morning, wherever you are in the world. But today's video, I'm going to be speaking about principles of progression. What is it? Um, why having a long-term viewpoint of your training is so critically important, and just the concept of persistence. I mean, there there is no way around it. Running success takes a long-term mindset. Um, you have to, and it's okay. It's okay to have short-term goals, making short-term goals, and making your long-term goals. But when it comes to progression, there's obviously workouts like progression runs. If you haven't done a progression run, it's basically you're starting off at a slower pace, and then you're speeding up until you're basically at a near sprint at the end of your run. We did this a lot when I was at the World Class Athlete Program in Colorado Springs. We would do progression runs where we'd start off at like 6 minute pace and get down to like where the last mile was at like 450 pace. So even a progression run is kind of an example of the mindset that you have to have in order to get faster, regardless of what distance you're running at. If it's a 5K or you're focused on a 10-mile race or a marathon, you start off slow and then you gradually speed up. It doesn't just happen overnight. It's extremely difficult right at the beginning, as you already very well know. Regardless if you're a total beginner or you're an advanced athlete already for yourself, results in this sport just do not happen overnight. I wish it was that way. I wish it was. I wish it was easier. I wish there was a silver bullet, something that would, a secret sauce here I could give you that where you could just get instant results. But that's not the case. I mean, this is a sport where we have to put in the time. You have to be committed. You have to be persistent and consistent. I mean, I was watching a video the other night of Dr. Joe Vigil. He's a mentor of mine, one of the world's most world-renowned exercise physiologists and distance running coaches. And he said something in the video where he was saying, if you're going to eat today, you run today. You don't miss. So if you have the opportunity to be out there training and you're healthy, stay consistent. I mean, there are going to be days where you have ebbs and flows where, you're just not hitting the paces of the workouts that you're trying to do. But progression is about just consistently staying on your routine. Don't, you sit down, see how many miles a week you want to run, and write down your goals. Tell yourself, okay, this is what needs to be done, and you stay consistent. I'm talking from the first week all the way to 16 weeks. If you're doing a 4-month block, that is the key. The principle of progression, is also about physiological adaptation. It's about doing those hill sprints where you're going all out, and your lungs are burning. But the key behind those types of workouts, like hill repeats, tempo runs where your heart rate's up around 165 and higher, repeat miles, repeat 2 miles on the track. These are types of workouts where you're building fast twitch muscle fiber recruitment. This is a physiological adaptation that's not going to occur by you running easy every day. And there is obviously, if you're just starting out in the sport or you're an advanced athlete, there's running easy is still extremely important. You have to take a break. You have to back off when it's after a tough track workout or a long hard tempo run. You really have to have that same discipline. You had the discipline to get out there and do a 10-mile tempo, but you have to have that equal dedication and persistence to back off when you know you have to. A great example of this is if you did a track workout on a Monday, and then you go out and you're going to run with a group on Tuesday, but they start taking off, and you have that inner battle. Should I take off? Should I run with them even though they're running faster, or should I back off? And I lose the group. Maybe they'll say he or she is they couldn't hang or anything like that. At the end of the day, when it comes down to it, is you got to be smart in training. If you want the results in the race, you have to be smart in training. And the principle of progression is about delayed gratification. You have to expect that the results of your training isn't going to come by, you doing a few workouts over a couple days or a couple weeks. It's going to be um, the results of your training is going to come down to weeks upon weeks of consistent training and doing the right things throughout the day. It's doing the right things, obviously, after the workout's done. Yeah, you can go out to the track or you can go out to the roads and do an awesome workout. But what are you doing the other hours of your day? And that's something Dr. Behill really stressed for myself and the athletes at Malone University, which is where I went to my undergrad at in Canton, Ohio. I was coached by Jack Hazen, who's a real good friend of Dr. Behill. So we had a lot of interaction with him over the years, and it's just that example that he said that, hey, you know what? If you want the results, you got to be first willing to put in the result or put in the hard work, but you also have to be patient enough to realize that great results in the sport don't happen in a few weeks, and sometimes not even in a couple years. I've said this in other videos, but it took me 18 years to break a 2 hour and 20-minute marathon. I don't. You've got to be hungry and you've got to want it. You don't necessarily have to. We all have different goals, so you don't necessarily have to go out and want to, qualify for the Boston Marathon or break a 18-minute 5K. Your goal might be just to finish your first 5K or to go out and run and complete a marathon, which is a huge accomplishment for so many people around the world. But in regards to the principle of progression, we're talking more so physiological adaptations that occur over a long period of time. It's doing those long hard tempo runs that are where your heart rate is 165, 170. You're getting up in that range where you're starting to build lactic acid, and you've got to really focus in, zero in on what you're wanting to do. And especially when it comes to races, whether it's a 5K all the way up to the marathon distance, we're always focusing on splits and maintaining and sustaining that goal pace. So you also have to focus on setting up your workouts throughout the week in a proper manner. You can't just go and, obviously if you're wanting to go somewhere, you don't just jump in your car and just go. You obviously, you get a map, in our technology world we live in, obviously it's a lot easier, and GPS, and it tells us where to go, but you have to have a plan in place, obviously. So progression is what it is. It's progression. It's not just immediate results. And so I just want to encourage you, as you prepare for your upcoming races, that you really focus in on those aspects, those key workouts that you need to be doing, whether it's tempo runs or repeat 200s, where you're really working your anaerobic threshold, where your heart rate's up around 170 plus, and you're giving yourself real short rests. That's really key, because you're not going to get any rest in a race, and so if you can really challenge yourself in training, that's really going to pay dividends when it's time to race. You always want to make training the most difficult part of your build-up. The race itself should not be a time where you're so nervous, like you can barely function. Challenge yourself in training. Get yourself so pumped up and focused in training. Make your mistakes in training. Don't wait for a race day to do that. So if you're training proficiently in a proper manner, and you believe in the principle of progression, and you continue to dig in the books, get in the books, read exercise physiology books, spend time on RunDreamAchieve.com. There's over 550 posts there now. I'm continuing to make videos as well, so I hope some of these videos will touch upon some really key areas of your training that's really gonna that's either been giving you issues in the past, and you can kind of get a mindset of what is it that, what is it a 219 marathoner does? What is it somebody that's wanting to accomplish their, run their first marathon? What is it that they do to be successful? And, all I can tell you right now is, if you're watching this video, you've come here, you're already a committed athlete, you want to get better, and that's the name of the game. Progression is about having a long-term focus, being patient, not expecting instant results, and doing the proper workouts so you get that physiological adaptation that I talk about. Those harder workouts where you're really pushing yourself, but you're also doing the things that top level runners do. It's getting proper rest, um, spending enough time, sufficient time, running at paces that are aggressive enough that you start to build that lactic acid, but you adapt to that. It's the first couple of weeks. Obviously, in any type of workout, you're gonna really be having a hard time holding pace for, like, whether it be the first 5 minutes or the first 5 miles of like a tempo run. You're gonna have a really difficult time doing that. But if you focus on progression, where you gradually over time get more zeroed in on that pace, your body's going to adapt. Your body will adapt. It's physiologically certain that the body will always adapt to the training load you place upon it, but it doesn't adapt overnight. So just keep those things in mind. Be persistent, um, and and have that long-term focus. And I promise you that you will continue to increase drop your times. Your heart rate will your heart's not going to have to pump as hard as it had to in the early stages of your training, and you'll be able to surpass all of the goals that you have for yourself. And that's at the end of the day, it's just getting the most out of your body, doing the best you can, but also training smarter. It's using that leverage, doing more with less. The best runners in the world, I can tell you, having trained with some of them, and Olympians, that they train extremely smart. They know what they're doing, and they also do not expect instant results. They know it's a long-term game, and the smartest runners win at the end. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have the most talent, um, you know, but you do have to have that consistency. You do have to put the workouts in, and you do have to be persistent. You have to believe in yourself and regarding what you're doing, and don't second guess yourself. Don't if you can't hit the workouts, or you miss your goals the first few times out in the race, whether it's 5K or whatever distance you're training for, don't second guess yourself. Give yourself time. Allow yourself to adapt to the workouts. Sometimes it takes a couple training blocks to get it right. I failed numerous times over the years at the marathon distance. I mean, it it was a it was it was a it was a test for me too. Um, I had to experience just like any other, all the ebbs and flows of any other runner, and but the key thing with me was, and what I'm trying to teach you is just that consistency factor. I was not going to let up. I was not going to lose enthusiasm, regardless of what happens, and that's ultimately how I was able to succeed with the long distances. And I'm still training, and I still love what I'm doing, but I get more satisfaction out of really um, teaching other runners how to do this, and the mindset, and doing the proper workouts, and getting out there and doing the right training, and so they can get the best results possible. So hope this video has been helpful for you. Definitely subscribe to the channel so you can get instant results, or instant results, obviously we want that, but instant updates of all the videos that I'll be making. And if you have a specific question, feel free to leave a comment below the video, and we'd definitely love to answer that for you. I'll make a video about that, and I plan on doing that definitely in the future as well. Any type of issue that any runner has, I don't care if you're brand new to the sport or you are a sub 230 marathoner. Leave a comment. Let me know what it is that's giving you an issue, because I've just about experienced everything you can possibly think of, from injuries to nutrition to pace sustainment to mindset issues, everything you can think of. So I'm here to help you out. So have a great evening. Talk to you next time.